When you sit down to watch a documentary, what are you actually seeing? Is it pure, unfiltered reality? Or is it a story, one that's been carefully, and I mean carefully, shaped by a director? Well, today, we're going to dive right into that question by looking at two filmmakers who have completely different answers. You've got the confrontational showman, Michael Moore, and then you have the invisible archivist, Asif Kapadia. We're going to see just how much their choices change the truth that we see on screen.
So here's the game plan. We'll start by getting to know our two filmmakers. Then we'll break down how their styles are so different, but also where they surprisingly have some common ground. And we'll wrap up by asking the really big question. In this whole documentary world, whose version of the truth are we really buying into?
All right, let's set the stage for this cinematic showdown, because at the heart of all of this is one single fundamental question. Seriously, how do you do it? Do you put yourself right in the middle of the action, guiding your audience every step of the way? Or do you step back and let the footage just speak for itself? Every single choice, what to show, what to cut, even what song to play in the background, it all shapes how we see things, how we perceive what's real.
And this choice brings us straight to our two guys, who are pretty much polar opposites. On one side, you've got Michael Moore, the provocateur. He is in the movie, he is part of the story, and he is confronting people on camera. Then, on the other side, you've got Asif Kapadia, the archivist. You never see him, you don't even hear his voice. He builds his entire film out of old footage, making you feel like you're the one discovering the story.
So, let's dig into Michael Moore first. His style is, well, it's impossible to ignore. And honestly, that's kind of the whole point. Moore is basically the king of what's called the performative documentary. This isn't your quiet, fly-on-the-wall approach. Oh no. Here, the filmmaker isn't just watching from the sidelines, he's an active character on a mission. And Moore's journey becomes our journey, which forces us to decide if we're going to trust him to lead the way. A huge part of Moore's whole strategy is his persona. He's got this everyman thing down to a science. The baseball cap, the casual jacket. He looks like a regular guy, one of us. And he basically weaponizes this approachable look to disarm the powerful people he's going after. It's how he exposes what he sees as total absurdity, like in Bowling for Columbine, when he famously walks into a bank and gets a free rifle just for opening an account. His toolkit is just unmistakable. You've got that dry, sarcastic narration where he's telling you exactly what he's thinking. He's famous for doorstepping, basically ambushing powerful people for an interview. He's always on screen, and look, he has an unapologetically left-wing point of view. His goal isn't just to inform you, it's to entertain you so much that you end up agreeing with him. And this quote? It captures his entire philosophy perfectly. Moore believes that if you want to get a message out to millions of people, you can't just give them the facts, like it's some kind of medicine they have to take. No, you got to give them popcorn. You have to make a real movie, one that's funny and shocking and feels like a big screen experience. Okay, now let's do a complete 180 and turn to Asif Kapadia. He takes a totally different path. In fact, he wants you to forget you're even watching a documentary. Kapadia is known for creating what's been called true fiction. What he does is he takes hundreds, sometimes thousands of hours of real archival stuff, home videos, phone clips, TV interviews, and he weaves it all together into this seamless story. By staying completely invisible, he creates this illusion that we're getting a private, unfiltered look into someone's life. He earns our trust because he seems so objective. Just look at his film, Amy. You can see his whole toolkit right there in action. The entire visual story is built from old footage. Instead of showing talking heads, we only hear the audio from his interviews, which makes it feel way more intimate. Amy Winehouse's handwritten lyrics pop up on screen, so it's almost like she's narrating her own downfall. He'll use slow motion to build this sense of dread, and the Ken Burns effect, panning and zooming on photos, to bring still images to life. Kapadia's own words really reveal what he's up to. He doesn't want you to feel like you're studying a document. He wants you to have the emotional, all-in experience of watching a drama. The events are real, sure, but the feeling he's creating is pure cinema. Okay, so let's put these two filmmakers side by side for a second. Because, on the surface, their styles just could not be more different. Just look at the contrast here. The director's presence? Moore is the star of his own movies. Kapadia is a ghost. The narration? Moore uses his own powerful voiceover to guide us. Kapadia only uses the voices of other people to let the story unfold. And their focus? Moore goes after these huge institutions, corporations, governments. Kapadia zooms way in on a single famous person, like Amy Winehouse.
to talk about bigger problems like media intrusion and addiction.
But, and this is where it gets really, really interesting, despite all these huge differences in style, if you actually look under the hood, you realize they're on a surprisingly similar mission. Both of these filmmakers are using their totally unique methods to do the exact same thing, create a counter-narrative. They want to challenge the official story, the one you always see in the mainstream media, and they want to make you question what you thought you knew.
And believe it or not, they even use some of the same tools to do it. They both rely heavily on found footage and interviews. They both use powerful emotional music to steer how you feel. And get this, they both use a pretty controversial technique called frankenbiting. That's where an editor snips and stitches together different parts of an interview to create a brand new sentence. It's a really powerful storytelling tool, but it's also a big reminder that the filmmaker is always in control of the story. They are both manipulating reality to serve what they believe is a deeper truth.
So, all of this leads us to the final and maybe most critical takeaway from this whole comparison.
Moore's construction is obvious, right? He's on screen telling you his opinion, and you can take it or leave it. But Kapadia's style is also a construction. It's just a much more subtle one. His invisibility is a creative choice, and it's designed to make the film feel more authentic, to make you lower your guard. But every cut, every song choice, every interview clip, that's his decision. There really is no such thing as a pure, objective window into reality. There's only the filmmaker's version of it.
Which leaves us with one last question to chew on. If we accept that every documentary is a carefully built argument, then where does the final responsibility for finding the truth actually lie? Is it in the hands of the director who's shaping the story? Or is it really up to us, the viewers, to watch with a critical eye and piece it all together for ourselves?